Hey everyone, this is Ryder from YoGov, and I'm here with Isla here in the Bay Area, and I wanted to do a quick video more about the SBA loans and important information. Today is Saturday, April 11th, and we heard reports yesterday that people started receiving their loans. Number one, I want to talk about that and what the SBA is saying when we call them. Number two, I want to talk about the loan tracking tool we put up on Thursday, which has been incredibly popular. I want to share what exactly that is. There's been some confusion. It's, if we have access to the SBA system, we don't. So I'm going to share more about that and why it's important, especially given that there is so much uncertainty around what's actually happening and when these loans are getting distributed. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the loan amounts have actually changed. According to some reporting by the New York Times, because of the demand, the actual loan amounts for this EIDL may not go up to the full $2 million. And I'm going to explain that as well. So first, I want to say, again, shout out to the SBA. We all are in the same boat. There's over 4 million of us that have applied for these $10,000 grants. Many of us are just wondering, waiting day by day, is this money going to hit the bank account so I can pay rent? So the SBA, given the circumstances, are doing a great job. That being said, there's not that much they can do. So we call every day, multiple times. Other people have done great videos, by the way, about their experiences calling the SBA. The fact is, when you get someone on the phone, you've submitted this $10,000 EIDL application. You have an application number. You won't get an email, and they won't be able to actually look up anything within your application. So all they can do is basically confirm that it's in the system. Like, yep, we see, okay, you read me the number. We see that it's in the system. And they say we can't open it because it's with a loan officer. Most of the time it's with a loan officer. So there isn't that much insight. I mean, to their credit, they must have several hundred people on the phones, but I think 99% of all calls are asking the same thing. Hey, what's the status with the loan? Now, that leads me to something we've been thinking about all week, is how can we help people have a better understanding of who's receiving loans and when. So we built a tracking tool where you can put in your application number, and based on data that we receive from everyone, we've helped thousands of people with their applications, and now we're helping people, tens of thousands, actually get insight into what's happening. So based on that network of people, we've crowdsourced some more information. So we basically can see if you've been approved, you can tell us, and then we say, hey, X% of people have already gotten their loans, and based on your number, we can also say, well, these people were approved and they were this number in the queue, so it's likely that you're coming up. Now, all that being said, you have to take it with a grain of salt, and that's the most important thing. We've heard reports that depending on how you fill out the form, you might not. You might be one number after someone else who already had their loan amount wired to them, and you might not get it for a few different reasons. The bottom line is, what we've heard is that they are checking your credit score, then they are wiring you the money. So check your bank account. If you're wondering, have you gotten any of this money yet? Check your bank account. And we've also heard that the range can be from $10,000 to $1,000. So there might not just be the $10,000, it might be less than the $10,000. So keep that in mind. Check your bank account. They've also said they will wire you first, and then they will send you an email saying you've been approved. So what we're trying to do is help you understand, hey, is it 1% of people that have already gotten their loan, 5%, 10%? Our answer so far is less than 1%, a very small fraction. We think because wirings started happening towards the end of this past week, this coming week there'll be a lot more. So we're staying optimistic, and this week we'll start to see, okay, more loans are being approved and processed. When I say processed, I mean wired to your bank account. So that's what the tracking tool is for. I want to remind everyone, we are not affiliated with the government, any government entity, or the SBA. We don't have access to their system, nor does anyone, nor does their support team doesn't really have a system where they can check as well. And so the tracking tool we've done is purely informational to help you get a sense of, like I've said, who's already been approved and how many people are left ahead of you based on the total number of applications. So we hope it's helpful. Please leave a comment and feedback. If there's anything else you want to see, we will try to work on it for you. The third thing I want to say is that originally these EIDL loans, the 10K advances, were part of a $2 million package. So you would get the 10K first, and then you would be able to apply for up to $2 million. Now, we've heard from the New York Times, and I'm going to pull this up and read it right now, that due to the current appropriations for this program and the overwhelming demand, the SBA, this is straight from the SBA, by the way, the SBA will make initial loan disbursements for 2 months of working capital up to a maximum of $15,000 per applicant. This is in addition to the advance of up to $10,000 each small business and nonprofit is eligible to receive. So by doing this, the SBA will ensure it is supporting the greatest number of applicants during this difficult time. Then it talks about the Paycheck Protection Program and how with that, it's a separate pool of money, and with that you can get loans of up to $10 million at a 1% interest rate. Okay, so again, I want to say that this came out on Thursday in the New York Times, that actual amount through the EIDL may only be up to $25,000 for these next 2 months. Now, as things evolve daily, there's talk of another $250 billion being passed. Things might change, but for now, their policy decision has been to maximize the most number of people they're helping. So that's important to keep in mind. I know, as business owners, as independent contractors, as self-employed people, we're all in the same boat. So I hope this is helpful. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment. And if it's helpful for others, feel free to share it too. Thanks again for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. Thanks.